Why chili? It's because when you look at the color of chilies, they're either red, orange, or yellow. That means they're very high in anthocyanins and they're very good immune boosters. So in addition to drinking your ginger and lemon, add a bit of chili in your food. And so we're now, Calro has been undertaking research for quite a number of years, over 10 years. It's been a bit slow because of insufficient funding, but we have actually 9 lines on the way that we're hoping by next year we'll have them in the national performance trials. We're looking at these 9 lines because we're working with a partner of ours, Gooseberry Delight. And Gooseberry Delight processes sweet and sour sauce. And the biggest problem was the ununiformity of the chili peppers, so in terms of the heat. So there was a batch that they processed and it was too hot to eat. So now we're looking at those different chili peppers, looking at the Scoville units of the chili peppers, Scoville meaning the heat of the chili peppers, and then coming up with a good one that will now be used by Gooseberry Delight for the sweet and sour sauce that will always give consistent heat. So we're going to have where we have a scale of maybe up to 10, where Kenyans can actually consume chili because of the nutrition. Very high in vitamin C, very high in vitamin A. We've been exporting chili from way back about 2006, 2007. We have Equator Chili, a company that is based in Malindi, and they grow chili, the bird-eyed chili. They dry and export the dried bird-eye chili to Germany, up to 7 tons per each consignment. Based on the heat, we plant them in different places. We don't want them to be so hot you go to a cooler place. We want them really hot, you go to a hot place.
Chili market is developing quite fast in East Africa. There's a big demand for habanero, for bird's eye chili and the serrano types, as well as the cayenne. I think the Asian market is an interesting one. China clearly is investing heavily in Africa. And on some fronts, China is investing to grow their own crops for export, but they're also looking at buying raw materials from the growers here. One of the biggest products at the moment which they're buying is chilies. A lot of farmers are going into producing the cayenne type and drying it on the farm and selling either powdered or flaked product. Yeah. The chilies are an extremely healthy product to eat on a daily basis. If you talk to people over most of Asia, they will say that it has great medicinal qualities, and people will eat a small amount of chili every day. In terms of how the uptake is in Kenya, uptake is good, and not just Kenya, across all the East African region, from Ethiopia down to Tanzania, across to Rwanda. I cover that whole region, and I'm seeing a lot more farmers planting chilies now. And I'm seeing that local farmers, smaller scale farmers, are able to compete on the export market. So what you're finding is some of the brokers will go and plant on several hundred farms, and they will do the collection and the export into particularly China. I would say China is probably number one at this stage. Well, one of the things I'm seeing is that almost all markets without exception are looking for very hot chilies. The hotter the better. People talk about Scoville points. But they're all different and the markets are all different.